gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the thing where we drive the stuff, and it's really cool, and people like it. I am your host, master of funkology, and with me is noted basketball superstar, Hideous Turkey Glue.
What is your minor in after funkology?
Oh, it's keeping it real.
Your major is funkology, and your minor is keeping it real. Gotcha.
Correct.
Gotcha. All right, we are here to do the ESR Enduro round from Bathurst multi-class event with GT4s and GT3s. So the blue cars are the GT3s, and the orange cars are the GT4s, and that's how that works.
I think you should have enforced those colors in their liveries next time.
I don't know if it's even possible.
We must segregate by color and not in a hateful way.
Not in a hateful way, just an identification way. Michael Magas coming around Murray Corner to finish off his qualifying lap here. This is his final chance to improve on his lap time. We'll see if he does. And the answer is no, he does not.
999.
This is, I want to say Cole McRae. Yep, Cole McRae coming around to finish his last lap. I don't even think he's going to get to the end there, nor is that Porsche behind him, to be honest. Which I want to say is Gerardo Davel in the row Porsche. He seems to have taken a liking to the row Porsche, which means he's divorced himself from Haribo.
No sugar-free gummy bears for you, my friend.
Ariel Zatoni's doing the Haribo thing now. Mike Stopmill will start on the pole position from Josiah Jerome, Jesus Huerta, Paul Riccobeni, Alvar Gomez, Moly Moly, Gerardo Daval, Ariel Zatoni, Richard Roche, and Mikel Costa, your top 10 in the GT3 category. In the GT4 category, it will Sergio Mengual, Demetrius Simeonidis, Douglas DeGroat with a good showing, Zifo Duran, Jesse Hampton, John Barker, Shannon Flynn, Jonas Blaine, Michael Magus, and Alex Loeffler are your top 10.
I agree.
So this track is, of course, the Bathurst Mountain Track, which Mount Panorama. One of the most difficult tracks in the world because the uphill section is very tricky, very hard to get around, very hard to race side by side, and just immensely challenging experience. So we'll see who can tackle that today and who will fall victim to the mountain.
It will surely be that guy who got all cocky and didn't wear a helmet. And then bad things.
Bad things happened, is what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, but then he got to be in the God damn it, what's the name of that movie? The Kingsman. He was in the second Kingsman movie, so it all worked out, right?
Fair enough. This will be a 75-minute race with one mandatory pit stop, 4 tires. And there will be fuel as well, because no one has... I don't think anyone has enough gas in them to go all the way through the 75 minutes, but here we go. We are off.
Let's go all the way.
Mike Stopmill got jumped at the start there by Josiah Jerome, but he gets the inside into Hell Corner and will retain the lead.
Josiah's got actual equipment now.
Indeed. He's got a new PC and everything.
You guys are in some bad trouble.
We're excited.
I'm gonna tell you what.
We're excited. Moly Moly and Jesus Huerta side by side. Moly Moly getting the better of that. He moves into third place in the sort of hippie-style Porsche there. And the blue Mercedes of Jesus Huerta drops back to 4th position.
The Turquoise Avenger.
Demetrius Simeonidis has got the GT4 lead, so something happened to Sergio Mengual off the line because he's dropped to 3rd in GT4.
Damn it, Mengele. Oh, Mengual, my bad.
Sergio is running the Lotus. Oh, Luciano Echazo has fallen way back, so he has had problems at some point. In fact, he is at the back of the pack now. And we head
Sergio,
down.
don't call me Gunter, Mengual.
We head down through Skyline, heading towards the Dipper. This is the downhill section that is actually really difficult. Paul Riccobeni had a terrible start. He started from P4, he's down to P7. Behind Del Val and Gomez.
Took a pretty big P. This is my favorite part of the track to watch, especially when they do the 24 hours.
Because inevitably a car gets stuck there.
Oh, dude. Like, it's ridiculous. People smash up. There's debris that later punctures tires. It's fantastic.
Yep, it's great.
They released wallabies hopped up on meth.
There were kangaroos last year at the
I
Bathurst.
saw that. I was entertained.
We also did a race one day after this in ACC, which is up online, with Ayrton Tobin and Cole McRae doing commentary, in which I did my best impersonation of a lawnmower going across the grass and destroying some of the like the styrofoam advertisement posts.
You took the Mexicali overland route?
I did. Ariel Zatoni in 8th place behind Paul Riccobeni, and behind him is Richard DeRoche and Mikel Costa. And a battle for the lead of the GT4 category here. Douglas de Groot in the blue Mercedes fighting with the red and white Mercedes of Dimitris Simeonidis. Looks like the Greek will hold on to that position for the time being. Looks like we may have lost Jesus Huerta from the race. He is shown as 0-0-0 down, so that suggests that the blue Mercedes has met an untimely end.
Luciano ain't doing so good neither.
Indeed, Luciano spun on the upward section of the hill. Just kind of spun on his own. No real assistance. Second place has moved into the hands of Sergio Mengual, and the Lotus has gotten past the BMW of Douglas de Groot. A little bit disappointed that I don't have the standings manufacturer icons on here, so I will have to do some of that by memory.
They were all driving Lotus.
No. That would be a terrible idea.
1972 Lotta with 32cc engine.
It's like when I was a kid, there was a bit that they had on one of the radio stations where someone would always phone in, like locked in their trunk or something, and be like, "It's a Mauve Skoda." Paul Riccobeni up at his 6th place, although I don't believe he passed anyone. I believe that is just a promotion due to Huerta losing it. Trying to go down the inside against Gerardo Del Val, but the Rowe Porsche will hang on to the position for that time being. Oh, and he gets collected by Richard DeRoche!
That ain't no good.
Indeed, Richard getting beat up there, a couple of cars backwards. Mikel Costa says thank you very much, and is up in his 7th place, with Travis Wallace looking to get that spot from him. Seems very fitting that I picked the all-red BMW for Travis.
Well, I mean, if you're driving the all-red one, then you don't show as much blood as you would on an ordinary.
Well, exactly. Also, blood for the blood gun, man.
Correct.
Red is Corn's color.
You burst your transmission, it's fine. Nobody will notice.
And Travis is really determined to get that spot. He's gone side by side with Costa through 2 separate turns. In the meantime, Douglas de Groot has retaken 2nd place from Mengual, although Mengual is taking it back. And Wallace versus Costa continues, and it looks like, finally, Wallace has gotten in front of him. So we approach the 5-minute, we're a little over the 5-minute mark of the race. Giving a quick update here. Stop Mill, Jerome, Moly, Gomez, and Delval, your top 5 in GT3, and that is Simeonidis, Mengual, de Groot, Barker, and this man, Zifo Duran, the championship leader in GT4, make up the top 5 for GT4.
Was he 2 of the 3 founding members of Duran?
He could be.
Because he's driving like the wolf.
Just seeing if we have any newcomers to the grid today. Not really. It looks like everyone's been here before. Ishmael Montoya, I think, is doing his first Enduro. But he is, of course, well known to us for his headlight blinking habits.
I think maybe he's a little epileptic. That's what's going on there.
So we have lost from the race Richard Roche and Jesus Huerta. Also, Sean Kenny has slipped to the back. And it looks like Riccobeni is gone entirely. So we are down 3 GT3s already, as well as problems for Luciano Ichazo and Sean Kenny. Christoph Verstappen down in 12th place. Not a place we normally see him. He's fighting with the Porsche of that's Max Simons, etc. His internet looks like it's holding up today for a change.
Maybe.
Alvar Gomez Cuesta on the tail of Moly for the final spot on the podium. plenty of time to go, though. We are a mere 7 minutes into this race. Shannon Flynn has lost a spot to Noel Robbins. Good to see Noel on the track again. We missed him.
Well, you know, he had a lot of problems since the incident.
Since the incident, yes. I'm being harassed on Discord, so you may see me go silent for a little bit.
How dare they?
It is definitely a bit of a how dare this person, because this person told me he wanted nothing to do with me. Now he's messaging me again, so you know.
Well, you know, some people's kids.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should have them hunted down and put on YouTube. Because that can only go one of two ways.
Alvar Gomez still on the tail of... Oh, that's Sean Kenny, who looks a little worse for wear in the pink and black Mercedes. We knew he was at the back of the pack, and I think we know why. It looks like we've also lost Cole McRae from the race. So we're down to 33 of the 36 cars that started the festivities.
Was it at that point that Cole McRae had known that his motherboard had fucked up?
No, that was the day after.
Fair enough.
Yes, Cole McRae messed up his PC upgrade right before he was supposed to record the race in ACC here, and we'll make fun of him for it. That's how that works.
Oh, is that what happened? I thought he just like had a part failure.
Well, he messed up the upgrade by buying a motherboard that wasn't going to work with the PC he bought. Douglas DeGroat getting back past Mengual for second GT4, and up ahead of them, Christopher Streppen had gotten around Max Simmons, but it looks like he's lost the spot back. And indeed, you can say that that is the case.
And indeed I shall. Come on, put him in the wall. Come on, Christopher.
Verstappen versus Simmons. This is getting frisky. In the background there, we have the BWT Mercedes of Wayne Hutchison. As Christoph tried to go around the outside there. I imagine that's not going to work out, but he is shown as in 11. Oh, no, there it is. It went back to Simmons. I was going to say, I don't think you could really hold it around the outside of Griffin's. As Mengual and DeGroat continue to swap second place behind Simeonitis. Ishmael Montoya on the tail of Fran Machuca. Good to have Fran back on the grid.
You said that like about the... Hey, the sign says two-way. Does that mean that you can turn around and still win?
I don't know.
I think we should try that out.
Probably not.
I think it definitely should be one of those things where you get to run either directions because the sign says two-way.
Well, keep in mind, this is actually a street that we are racing on. This is actually an actual road that is used for this neighborhood. So unlike purpose-built facilities, it is a little bit... the signage may not actually be part of racing.
All I know is you gotta obey the rules of the road, and the road sign says two-way, so you could race either way and still be okay.
Alvar Gomez on the tail of Moly Moly, still battle for third place. Behind them, that is the lapped car. Oh, Christopher Streppen has cut the chase and overtaken back Simmons, but the spot goes back to him. Simmons with a little flash of the headlights. Maybe not terribly pleased with what went on there.
Well, maybe he should have just driven a whole lot better.
I mean, there is that.
There is that argument usually to be made.
Really could be made against anyone but Demetrius Simeonitis right now. Oh, actually, Simeonitis has lost the lead to Douglas DeGroat, so it can be said about Simeonitis.
Oh, my goodness.
We missed that. Alvar Gomez going for third place against Moly Moly up the hill. Very hard to get around here. It's a very narrow part of the track, obviously with the walls there. Significant chance of wrecking.
I'm in favor of the significant chance of wrecking.
I know you are. Douglas DeGroat is flying backwards. What has happened to Douglas DeGroat, and what has happened to Sergio Mengual? Both of them appear to be off the track. This has promoted Simeonitis back into the lead ahead of John Barker, Zifo Duran, Noel Robbins, and Shannon Flynn. That's your new top 5 in the GT4 category. Plenty of time for those 2 cars to come back, but horrible luck for them right now.
Well, what they should have done is sacrifice the goat to a few of the local gods and
Sean Kenny just had an angry discussion with the wall.
That's not good.
Alright, so Alvar Gomez still on the tail of Moly Moly. This is the battle for the lead of GT4. Dimitris Simeonitis versus John Barker. John Barker, of course, had technical difficulties that robbed him of a win at Red Bull Ring, so cross your fingers for John. And championship leader Zifo Duran in the background there in 3rd place.
Thoughts in chat for Juan Barcadero.
Indeed. Alvar Gomez on the tail of Moly Moly still. They are falling quite a ways back, but Josiah Jerome is sticky with Mike Stockmill, only 6/10 behind. So things are interesting there. Even if the rest of the field is not really keeping up.
Well, what they really need to do is get themselves an extra cylinder in the engine, and it'll be working out for just fine.
True. Sean Kenny and Luciano Echazo are still trying to work their way through the GT4 field. I don't really know if they're like, this is the second time I've seen someone try to go around the outside of Griffin's, and I just don't see that working. I don't even know why you would really fake it.
For the lulz?
I mean, if you did make the overtake there, it would be lost. So fair enough. Fair point from my esteemed colleague, Byron Derksen.
Half the reason to do anything is for the lulz.
Indeed, one of the GT4s there getting out of the way of the leaders, Mike Stockmill and Josiah Jerome. Not sure who that is. That might be Alex Loeffler. Let's see, they're coming up to another car. That would probably be the giveaway. Travis Wallace on the tail of Gerardo Daval. You know, for the amount of time that Travis Wallace and Gerardo have been in ESR, I don't think I've ever seen them really go head-to-head. So this will be interesting.
Yeah, I don't remember a specific time either. All I know is that Travis is driving the angry orange car, and that might affect his mental state.
I mean, it always does.
What happens if you put him in a soothing blue car or something like that? What happens then?
It doesn't really help.
Fair enough.
John Barker is still on the tail of the leader there, and this is Travis Wallace we are on board with now against Del Val. They have Costa in the background. Please ignore my Facebook, which is just trying to... Oh wait, that won't even be caught on this because we're recording through TeamSpeak. Oh.
Correct.
Travis Wallace makes the move. Mikel Costa also got through until he lost the car there. So Del Val almost lost 2 places. And, contact with one of the GT4 backmarkers, who is very damaged. Max Simons, Christoph Verstappen. This fight's still going on through the chase. And they approach Murray Corner, which is the last corner on the track. Hello, Uncle Murray. Max Simons.
Max and Demetrius should form a team. What do you think?
I did not catch that.
Said I think Max and Demetrius should form a team.
Ah, that would be very confusing. Simeonitis and Simmons.
Exactly. It's half the reason to do anything.
Indeed. I co-signed this idea.
Also for the lulz.
Christoph Verstappen versus Max Simons. These are 2 very aggressive drivers, so I'd like the camera to stay on this fight for a while. Because it could get very dicey. And they're 2 drivers who I think are a little bit used to being higher up in the field from this, so probably not super happy with 11. Oh, Verstappen got a little bit into the back end there, but he kept it out of the wall. Ariel Zatoni on the tail of Gomez. So Gomez has dropped back from Moly by quite a bit. So I imagine he made a little bit of a mistake. But now has to deal with the Argentinian nightmare, Ariel Zatoni. Further up, it's John Barker still looking for the lead of the GT3 category, sandwiched between the teammate cars of Dimitris Simeonitis and Zifo Duran. Shannon Flynn in the background there, still in 4th place, and Jesse Hampton is up into the top 5.
Zifo, don't call me Anfo Duran.
Ariel Zatoni on the tail, once again, of Alvar Gomez Cuesta, who is historically a very difficult guy to overtake. By the way, just throwing it out here, there were like no Audis in the Wednesday series. That should probably be fixed. It's a very solid car. I don't understand the lack of love.
Well, what you see here is we don't drive no Austrian nonsense around here.
Everyone else is driving BMWs and Mercedes, etc. And Porsches. There's a lot of Austrian nonsense going on.
Well, you see, I don't have any rebuttal for that one.
James Butler getting lapped there. His car looks a little bit worse for wear on the front end there. That's Moly Moly, who's right on the tail of Josiah. So Josiah's made a major mistake at some point. He is now 12 seconds. Oh, somebody... I'm not sure who that was. One of the GT4 cars backwards at the side of the road. Christopher Strepping going around the outside of Griffin again, and just not. Oh, it may have worked. Managed to get a bad reaction from Max Simmons, and oh no, Josiah!
See, he was not used to that frame rate, and it all went wrong.
It looks like he might have gotten tapped by Moly.
We'll have you executed.
Moly into second. Alvar Gomez Cuesta, Ariel Zatoni, third and fourth. Travis Wallace now in the top five ahead of Delval, Costa, Jerome, Montoya, Machuca. I was going to say Jerome is going to drop even further, and he is. He's lost spot to both the Spaniards. And Christopher Streppin will be through soon, I think, along with Max Simmons. So that's probably going to relegate Josiah down to more or less the back of the GT3s. He might be able to get into the pits, fix himself, and get out ahead of Chazo or Kenny. I should say and/or Kenny.
Andor, isn't that an island somewhere?
Probably. After the island names we were listing earlier, probably.
I think it's one of those. Oh, it's a place in the Wheel of Time trilogy. That's what it is.
There's also Andorra, which is
Andorra. That's what I was thinking about.
Which is a small country near Spain.
Yeah. There's
or a principality. I don't know if it's actually a country.
There's a country in the Wheel of Time series of novels, and then there's also Andorra, which is exactly what my brain was trying to come up with and didn't. Thanks, brain.
And of course, there's Endor for the Star Wars fans.
Man, nobody got time for no fucking teddy bears and crap.
Hey, I mean, you gotta respect Endor, sir. In the Expanse novels, there's actually a ship named the Witch of Endor, so you know.
Neat.
It crosses over to multiple sci-fi genres.
This time it's gone too far.
So Alvar Gomez on the tail of Moly Moly with Zatoni in the mix too. They've got some traffic up ahead of them. That is the very beat-up car of Douglas DeGroat, I think. And whoever he is fighting with. Where's DeGroat? He is fighting with... that's got to be another different lapped car, actually. This is not Sergio Mengual, who was the car ahead of him. So we are getting to that point where there are some cars on some very different laps at this point.
Correct. Mr. Wallace down to the 5th place.
Mm-hmm. Looks like we might have lost Dixon Hurst and Noel Robbins from the race, possibly putting us down to 30 cars.
You know the 30's an unlucky number. We can't have that. Someone's got to crash immediately. Otherwise, we probably get a plague.
I mean, probably. Ariel Zatoni on the tail of Alvar Gomez, who is on the tail of Moly Moly, and ahead of them is one of the BMWs, Ayrton Tobin, I think, making way to be lapped by the, not the leaders, like Stockmill's already been through, but the next best thing.
If Ayrton puts you in the wall, you have been toe-boned.
Zifo Duran looking for second place against John Barker. You think he's got it? Nope.
Nope.
Oh, maybe. John got very wide there. Zifo's, I think, nudging ahead. I'd like to see from outside the car right now. There we go. So Zifo is a little bit ahead of John Barker, but John does have the inside line into Griffins to try to make a stab at it. We have seen the inside line has historically been preferable. Instead, we go to the Alvar Gomez versus Moly Moly fight. Looks like Barker did indeed get back that second place. Michael Magas getting lapped by some of the leaders.
Well, you should just put them on the wall.
Mikel Costa up on the tail of... That is a very messed up front end that Douglas Ducrot is sporting. Holy moly. Looks like there's some mountains forming on the bonnet of his car.
He's moving at a geologic pace then.
As one of the BMW GT4 cars getting out of the way of Moly Moly and Alvar Gomez Cuesta. As they head into Skyline, which this is the part of the track where you really don't want to catch a blue flagger because it is very hard to pass here. And Ariel Zattoni right now is the man feeling the pain because he is behind that BMW. And has gotten through. Bit aggressive there to go through before the dipper, to be honest. James Butler, who we've not really seen much of, he is on the tail of Mauricio Delgado, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. And behind them is the beat-up car of... That is the one and only Martin Evans. So Zifo Duran is down to 4th place, so he's lost a spot to Shannon Flynn, the Blue Lotus. Maybe through some blue flag action.
Shannon O'Flynn.
And Butler still trails Mauricio Delgado through the Dipper. And into Forest Elbow, and then to the Conrad Straight.
Is it the Big Dipper or the other one?
Just the Dipper.
Lane.
It's pretty big, though.
El Grande Dipper.
You really don't understand how big it is until you look at it in real life, to be honest. Like, it's one of those things that you even in the game, you don't gain an appreciation for just how big of a drop that is.
Fair enough. Like a lot of these tracks, I have no idea, no concept of really much of what's going on because all I see is cars going through things very, very fast, and it's all left turns, right turns. Like I can identify the downhill stretch on Bathurst because I've watched a couple of 24-hour races, but everything else is kind of. Like, oh, and Macau. I can recognize that one corner on Macau, and you know which one I'm talking about.
The one where all the disaster videos are at. Oh,
yeah.
Somebody, Zifo Duran got into the wall a little bit there. That's going to scrub some speed off. Shannon Flynn is making good progress through the field in that Lotus. So he's on a good roll. I don't know what to make of the Lotus, because the only two Lotuses are Shannon Flynn and Sergio Mengual, who are both very talented drivers. And as a result, it may be making the Lotus look probably a fair bit better than it actually is.
Well, racism.
Not racism. I respect Asian-made cars.
There is racing, so clearly racism.
Ariel Zattoni on the tail of Alvar Gomez Cuesta. As Moly Moly has managed to get about a 2.5 second lead over these guys. So their squabbling has allowed the Porsche to get away a little bit. Interesting enough, the top 4 are all different cars now. We have a Mercedes leading a Porsche, leading an Audi, leading a BMW. So that's interesting.
They're all Volkswagens.
Considering there are only 5 particularly legitimate cars in GT3 right now, we're just missing a Callaway C7, which I think the only C7 was Paul Riccobeni, who was out of the race. So that dream is over. Christoph Verstappen versus Fran Machuca. Battles on there. So Christoph has finally gotten away from Max Simmons and makes fairly short work of Fran there for 9th place. Looks like we have lost another car. Perhaps Jonas Blaine? Maybe? I don't know. Blaine has been in to serve his pit stop along with Mengual and Jerome, so they are good to go to the end, legally speaking. As, whoa! An aggressive move there by Mikel Costa. Very nice, though. Made Shannon Flynn and John Barker panic just a little bit, though, as they go into Griffin's, battling over 2nd place in the GT4 category. And Barker will repulse the Lotus on this occasion, and Sean Kenny is coming up behind them. This is oddly for position, because Kenny, of course, is just not even in the GT3 fight. He's in 18th place, but he should make short work of the GT4 cars.
I would like to state for the record that I also found it repulsive.
Repulsive. Disgusting.
Horrendous.
horrendous. Eric Friesen, by the way, was back on track in the ACC series.
Very nice.
He's relocated to Europe, though, so we probably won't see a ton of him. He's in
Why
Germany.
the hell would you move to Europe? It's all full of Europeans.
I assume because of work. Although, skyline lapping. Boy, oh boy, this can end really, really badly. I've seen it end really, really badly in real life and in the game.
Shout out to Eric Friesen, who clearly got deported because of war crimes.
Probably. We've also inherited a new race car driver named Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. So,
Delightful.
Indeed.
I also have a lovely bunch of coconuts.
As John Barker and Shannon Flynn get lapped by the GT3 traffic, which has kind of interrupted their battle for the time being.
Correct.
Ariel has fallen back off of Alvar Gomez Cuesta, but plenty of time to go. We're not even at the halfway mark, I don't think, of the race. No. We're about 50 minutes. We're approaching 30 minutes into the race, which is not the halfway mark. Michael Magas in 6th place in the GT4 category. He is on the tail of Jesse Hampton. Okay, so that's Jesse Hampton, the orange and white BMW. I didn't know what livery he was running. It was a little confusing. Another pit stop has been served. James Butler, good to go to the end.
He shall buttle forth, and that right smartly.
Indeed. Max Simmons working his way through the Flynn... still a little... that's probably just the non-reset of the car there that shows Josiah Jerome with all the damage. He is on the tail of... That's Ismael Montoya, who he's not battling with. Montoya's up in 8th place. Jerome's back at 15th. So Jerome is trying to catch up to Luciano Ichazo. By the way, Sean Kenny has fallen right to the back of the pack of the GT3s, despite Ichazo and Jerome's problems. So, disapproving finger wag at Sean Kenny.
Well, I would like to rebuttal that because Sean Kenny was to the back of the pack of all the other cars and has made his way finally up to the back of the pack of his section.
I think he was always ahead of Ichazo, wasn't he?
No, sir. He was in like 27th place at some point.
Ichazo was in 36th place at one point.
Well, I mean, he might have started there.
No, he spun on the first lap heading up the hill.
Yeah.
Michael Magas
no, at
on
some
the
point,
tail.
Kenny had gone like arse over teapot and
Arse over tea kettle.
That's the joke. As I'm saying it wrong.
Yes.
Damn it.
And I like to periodically rain on your parade.
You pedant.
Fran Machuca has been into the pits to serve his pit stop, so his is clear.
Good job. Well done, sir. Well done.
He'll be on his own for a little bit because he's quite a ways ahead of Luciano Ichazo and quite a ways behind Martin Edmonds. Although, with the traffic spreading out, there will probably be still some things for him to do. Shannon Flynn still now back up on the tail of John Barker. They had been parted by the blue flag action and are now back at it for 2nd place. I've actually sat in a Lotus like that. My boss at the auction house has an older model of that Lotus, and I can say that it is a car I would never purchase because it is incredibly uncomfortable to sit in.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't fit. Do they make a stretch model? Oh wait, that's just a Lamborghini.
It's probably just a Lamborghini, frankly.
That'd be the ultimate goal. Win the big old lotto and go to somebody like the Mini Cooper people. Like, you make this, but like real size for me. Thank you.
But like my size.
You make this like man size. Thank you.
You know, Mini Coopers are actually not that uncomfortable to sit in. Like, you'd think they would be with how small they are, but it's really not too bad.
Well, there's like an almost full size or an actual full size version.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen there's a couple actually in town. I call it the Maximum Cooper. I have no idea what the model is or what it's called or anything like that. It might be the Mini Cooper XL for all I fucking know, but I just call it the Maximum Cooper.
the weirdest car that you'll find where I live is, and I saw it once. I've never seen it again. It is. I was walking to my brother's baseball game once. Well, actually, hang on. Let's see if Alvar gets past here. Doesn't think he will. Okay. I was walking to my brother's baseball game. Took the GO train near the park and then just walked the 20 minutes or whatever to get there. And zipping past me on the road comes an Ital Design Shihira, which is a concept car that never went into mass production. And apparently, someone out near that park owns one because it was driving around, and I saw it on the way back too. So it is in that area.
Interesting. I think
should look up how many of those actually got made as a concept car, and then probably immensely expensive.
When I was a kid, and I haven't seen these cars around for years, so I don't know if the people who owned them sold them or moved or whatever. But when I was a kid growing up, there was somebody in town who legit owned a Lambo, and there were a couple of Ferraris, and then Hummers kind of came in, and everybody went Hummers. So
my most amusing Lambo story is I was sitting out front of this little plaza thing.
Mm-hmm.
We had just counted the when I was in high school and then into college, I did inventory as a job, which sucks. But we just had counted, I want to say, a Dollarama or a convenience store or something. And this guy pulls up in a Lamborghini in front of the hair shop, and he's like us, follically challenged, bald, walks in. And then, every 2 minutes, he's walking out to check the car. And it's like, do you not trust that we're not going to destroy the car?
Obviously not. A bunch of hooligans.
I think if you're that worried about the car, you just shouldn't own the car. If you can't afford to replace it, don't own it.
Yeah, if you got to ask.
Moly diving into the pit lane. So he's in to serve his theoretically one and only stop. With about 41 minutes to go. So he went 34 minutes? Not quite halfway, which might be a bit of a mistake. I'm not really sure why you'd be pitting this early.
I don't know. Probably because it's a totally elite strategy that you just can't even comprehend.
Might not. Michael Magas, by the way, is now in the top 5.
Ha-cha-cha.
Trying to figure out why that is.
We should get that guy on commentary. He clearly knows what he's doing.
Means somebody is dropped. It's Sifo Duran. Sifo Duran is out. It looks like we've also lost Ayrton Tobin. So we're down to 27 cars of the original 36.
Correct. We mentioned Andorra earlier, and I had to bring up Google Maps to find out where the fuck it was. So I know that now. Thank you. God, such a jerk.
You knew that before. I told you.
God, such a jerk. Anyway, I've been just sort of slowly perusing around while watching the race and looking at all the places that, I know where these places are, but I kind of, you hear about places like Vilnius, which is in Lithuania. I didn't know it was that close to the border with Russia, or is it Belarus? That is Belarus. So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. That's kind of cool. And I meander my map over this way, and there are several hockey players who have played, who went, when strikes are happening and they play for Malmo in Sweden.
Sweden, of course.
I didn't know that Malmo was essentially Toronto to Copenhagen's Detroit. They're that
pretty
close.
Much. They're very close. Yeah.
I didn't know that. It's just
I was actually
things like that.
I actually had that reinforced the other day. I was watching some World War II videos and I pulled up a map of Finland because they're talking about the Winter War, and that reinforced that whole the closest of Malmo and Copenhagen. As Shannon Flynn is all over the back end of John Barker still for this second place position. See, now Shannon Flynn might be advised to pit here because he's maybe being held up by Barker. That would be a reason to pit. I'm just not sure why Moly, who is ahead of Alvar Gomez, would have come into the pits. We'll see. We'll see if it works out.
Correct. Shout out to anybody who lives in Skarsvarg, Sweden. It's near the top of the fucking world. You
Michael
people are crazy.
Magas has a slightly beat up car. Although not as beat up as the car behind him. Douglas DeGroat's car looks like it is falling apart.
Yeah, that's not nice. You look like you need some dental realignment, and he needs like facial reconstructive surgery.
He needs the full plastic surgery at this point.
The full business. Oh man, did they build a bridge right across that? That's crazy. I'm sorry, I'm just still looking at a map.
Looks like Christoph Verstappen has hit the pit lane, as well as... No, just Alex Loeffler has been in. So that's our pit lane update. Oh, Jesse Hampton. Maybe a little bit of contact there with Douglas DeGroat. And Douglas spins around. Mike Magas got past Hampton and is down 4th place. Hampton to the pit lane.
Hampton races, sing the song. Doo-dah. Doo-dah.
So Hampton is going to try to undercut Magas. We'll see if it works. Oh, somebody in the wall.
I like that.
Not sure who it was. It was possible. I know Alex Loeffler is running that livery, but I suspect somebody else is as well. And I think it's Mauricio Delgado. No, Delgado's in a Porsche. Can't be.
It's not Jay Delgado?
No, not the illustrious James Delgado. From Denmark, of all places.
Yeah. That always throws me off when people are from Scandinavia and yet have either Hispanic names or are of African descent. Like, why would you move there?
It's a bit weird, but you know what? It's a pretty strong economy up there, so
fair enough.
And there's good social services. Gerardo Del Val hitting the pit lane.
Very gently hitting the pit lane. Very softly.
Yes, very softly. It's a bit of a tricky pit lane, to be honest. Moly Moly is on the tail of Verstappen. So interesting. Verstappen has jumped Moly Moly in the pits. How did that happen? Verstappen was back in like 11th or 12th place. Moly was in 2nd. So that pit stop has not worked out for Moly at all. Either that or Verstappen's pit stop is ridiculous.
Be sure to tune in for my new feature film, Gdansk Me Outside.
Gdansk Danzig?
Gdansk, falling apart to halftime. Gdansk.
So this race is taking on a completely different complexion for Moly Moly, who was looking at a, relatively surefire podium. And that is suddenly not a thing anymore, because he's got Verstappen ahead of him. Now it'll be very interesting to see where Zatoni and Gomez come out into this whole thing, because they're in 2nd and 3rd right now. They have yet to pit. Travis Wallace, Mikel Costa, Ishmael Montoya, Max Simons, Wayne Hutchison, Martin Edmonds going deep. By the way, Martin Edmonds going deep. Surprising. Wayne Hutchison going deep. Not surprising in any way.
Not at all.
Michael Magas into the pit lane for P3 in the GT4 category. He's overtaking Shannon Flynn, which I think means Flynn's also in the pits. It looks like Flynn has also been taken. So 3rd and 4th into the pits from the GT4s. We'll see where they come out in relation to Hampton, as that was their rival. Right now it doesn't look good, because that gap is very small between Hampton and Flynn. So it looks like the overcut is not going to work for Magas and Flynn, and it's going to work for Jesse Hampton to go with the undercut. Because Hampton has not only gotten back past Magas, but Flynn as well, and is up into 3rd place.
That seems like cheating.
Ishmael Montoya in from 5th place in the GT3 category, and we are still awaiting both the Dimitri Simonizin. Mike Stoppmill has been in and out. He is rejoined ahead of Max Simmons by the looks of it.
Do you think he's going to get all the way back up into 1st before anybody between him and 1st place even pits?
I mean, I'm going to say no, because I think the pit stop should reside in the next 5 minutes or so. And despite my general faith in Mike Stoppmill, I don't think he can do it in 5 minutes.
That seems fair.
But we'll see. Ishmael Montoya rejoins. So where's Moly Moly? Moly Moly had a really... So it's looking increasingly like Moly Moly just had a very bad pit stop, because Verstappen's ahead of him. Montoya's ahead of him. Although he has gotten out ahead of Gerardo Del Val. So... maybe Del Valle made similar mistakes. I don't know. But this race has definitely taken on a new complexion for Moly Moly, who is looking like a best of the rest type kind of guy here today. But now he's behind Verstappen, and from personal experience, Christoph Verstappen is a difficult man to overtake, and we'll see what Moly can do.
Well, he's going to fire a couple of harpoons out there, take out them tires, and then pass on by.
We're going with the 007 racing theory.
Yeah.
Also, Zatoni has gotten out ahead of him, so he's lost a spot there as well as to Montoya. So that pit stop was not good for Moly Moly. That is for sure.
We clearly need a Slovakian driver, so I can call him the Big Bratwurst from Bratislava.
Yeah, we don't have any representation from Slovakia or the Czech Republic. Travis Wallace in the lead, by the way.
Hell yeah, Travis Wallace.
So I think that means Gomez is in the pits. And maybe Costa. Stopmill up into second place. But I think that's because Gomez and Costa are in the pits. We'll see if they're a little... someone else has dropped out. We have lost... Looks like we lost Luciano Ichazo from the race. So that's not great.
Don't cry for me, Luciano.
Can confirm that Gomez was in the pit lane, and that probably means Costa was as well. So I suspect that is the case. Only a couple people yet to pit. One is race leader Travis Wallace. Another is Max Simon. Sean Kenny still has a pit stop to serve, as well as John Picha.
Is that the Costa doing business?
Yes, yes.
Is that what happens when he passes people? That's the Costa doing business.
We're down to 15 GT3s and 11 GT4s. John Picha, a little bit beat up. He probably should make that pit stop and see if he can get that front end fixed. But trailing Sergio Mengual, whose race is... Not sure what happened with Sergio, but him and Zifo Durant, or not Zifo, it was him and Douglas DeGroat flew way backwards, and we've seen DeGroat a couple times with a very damaged front end, so I do wonder if DeGroat maybe got into the back of him at some point. As Moly Moly gets shepherded to the wall by Verstappen, but gets the overtake done anyways. Not taking your shit.
The absolute mad lad.
That was some seriously, we'll put it this way, aggressive defending from Moly Moly. Martin Edmonds versus Wayne Hutchison, the master of tire management versus the killer of tires. Interesting juxtaposition.
Well, I mean, if you throw out your caltrops out the window, then you take care of them tires.
That's true. Shannon Flynn in fourth place behind Jesse Hampton. So Hampton worked the pit stops beautifully and is now up onto the GT4 podium. Verstappen is caught back up to Moly Moly, so this is not over. Man, that BMW transmission whine.
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing in the world. The only thing that's going to make that kind of noise and be pleasurable is the blender making me some alcoholic smoothies.
What about non-alcoholic smoothies?
I mean, those are good too, but come on.
I'm not saying in any way alcoholic smoothies would be below those smoothies, but smoothies in general are quite good.
I'm just saying, you can put your protein powder in, and like 53 pounds of kale, and then like half a bottle of vodka, and it's even better. Follow me for more recipes.
For me, you're just gonna get like chicken wing flavors that I had. Like for example, tonight I had the Belgian Moon barbecue sauce from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Interesting. That sounds
quite good.
Nice.
Quite good. I like it.
I do enjoy the Belgian Moon beverage, so I can't say that it's going to be bad.
Yeah, I had that along with the mango habit. Oh, somebody at the side of the road. That is Sean Kenny. Sean Kenny in the wall.
That man is out of control in various ways and means.
Indeed. I'm a little surprised Alvar Gomez Cuestas remained behind Shannon Flynn and Jesse Hampton for as long as he is, and that'll be ended here on the Conrad, of course. Oh
Ding.
no, Verstappen!
He's just shedding some weight. He's shedding weight so he goes faster.
Actually, the car looks okay.
Chazo's way back again. Did I miss something, or
Chazo, I think, is out of the race.
I don't know. Is like everybody that far? Oh yeah, I guess Tobin and Duran and
Tobin,
people.
Duran, Blaine, Hurst.
The
Roberts.
Hurst and Dix.
Yes. As Michael Magas makes way for the battle between Moly and Verstappen is right back on him. Jesus. Verstappen has got this car humming down the Conrad straight. The straight line speed of that BMW M6 is impressive.
Just
Porsche's not able to match it.
Just not too good at the corners.
Well, it is a fat car. It is a big old chunker. It is a big car. Like, look how big it is compared to the Porsche.
It's a heckin' chunker, as the kids say.
Mm-hmm. It and the Bentley and the Nissan. Huge cars. So with a little under 30 minutes to go, a recap here. Mike Stopmill leads from Max Simmons. Simmons is not pitted yet, so he's still got a pit stop to do. Gomez, Wallace, Zatoni, Montoya, Moly, Verstappen, Delval, Costa, Edmonds, Hutchison, Machuca. Jerome. Yet to pit is Sean Kenny, but he is in last place in the GT3s anyways, so that does not really... Oh, Douglas DeGroat kind of getting in the way of Verstappen there. That could have ended very badly.
Simmons still has not pitted. That's a little odd.
Sean Kenny in the pit lane now has served his pit lane.
Life in the pit lane, surely to make you lose your mind.
Oh, Jesse Hampton! Hamptown races in the wall.
That looked pretty sketch.
Shannon Flynn takes over second place, or third place, I should say. Simeonitis, Barker, Flynn. Magas should get past Hampton.
Well, I mean, apparently you tell me.
Apparently not yet.
You tell me, third person boy.
Apparently I get him later. Well, spoiler, I will pass Jesse Hampton.
There you go. That's what the crowd wants to hear.
Well, I put my POV up on YouTube, so a lot of people have already seen this.
I just found out that North Macedonia is its own country now. Is that a thing?
Yeah. It's exceedingly stupid as someone... To be honest, so here's the 411 on the whole Yugoslavian situation. All of the countries being their own thing is stupid.
Correct.
From an economic, military, social, athletic point of view.
The whole Bosnia-Herzegovina trying to get to the beach thing.
Yeah.
That ain't happening.
Not happening. Croatia's not having it. Like, it's just... And I understand I am mixed Croatian Serbian, so I have a perspective that many people don't have.
The abomination.
And I'm not even here to say that that there are not legitimate gripes about the treatment of the various Yugoslavian peoples at the hands of each other throughout history. It's just that no one alive has any idea really who started it. So can we just forget it?
Can we just be the Balkan Union and move on with our lives?
I mean, well, that's the thing is when Yugoslavia was Yugoslavia, it was actually one of the healthier economies in Europe. It was, and we've destroyed it to be a bunch of not so healthy countries now. As Ariel Zatoni slaloms through one of the lap cars there. I think that's Alex Loeffler.
You would think that just because he's German.
Well, I know that Loeffler is driving that car, so unless somebody else is in that livery, it's Loeffler.
You Balkan race-hating, right to the Hague. I'm going to call Stoffmeal and drive you to the Hague very, very fast. He probably lives there.
Sir, neither side will admit that I committed war crimes.
Because we are going to take refuge in Montenegro. Also, I love the fact that the Kosovo border with Serbia is just kind of like this random dotted line. Like, no one's really sure.
Yeah.
We haven't really nailed that one down yet.
Yeah, Kosovo's another one that's like an ethnic Albanian thing.
Ugh. Albanians, the worst. I mean, wait, sorry, what? I have a Greek friend at work, and I tease him all the time about being actually from Albania. But now I know that North Macedonia is a thing. I'm definitely going to lay in on that one. That one's going to be good.
Hit that up. That'll be your new thing.
For a long time, I was just calling him a Turk. What are you just like? You just like one of those Turks that doesn't go out in the sun? Is that what's going on here?
This is called a Turkish Cypriot.
Oh no, I went with Cypriot for a while because I didn't think he was smart enough to know where that was. Not taking into account that he obviously is very, very proudly Greek and knows where Cyprus is.
If you're from Greece, you know where Cyprus is.
So that was fun, and we actually found out that we both like a certain cheese from Cyprus called halloumi, and it was like, oh, that stuff's so good. If you haven't had halloumi cheese, you really need that in your life.
All I really know about Cyprus was what I learned setting up a customer in our accounts receivable database at my last job, where it's like their addresses are fucked up. That's what it is. Like here, it's like, here's your street number, here's your street, here's your city, province, postal code, right? No. It's like 15 lines in Cyprus.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Although I do occasionally tease my Greek friend by calling him a Cretan.
So that's just a fun word to say, though.
It is good. You dumb Cretan. I'm not from Crete. Oh, you were talking about the other thing. All right. He's less offended that I called him an idiot than I would be like call him from somebody from Crete.
I was pretty sure that someone from Crete is not a Cretan. Isn't it a Cretan?
An accretion?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't have a clue, but it's funnier in my head and also true in my head that they're all
Demetrius, provide
Simons is still not fucking pitted.
He still is not pitted. Demetrius, provide us with the answers that we need.
Yes,
you're
Demetrius.
You're from Greece.
Hook a brother up.
Oh, he's in the pit. Okay, Simons is in the pits.
Hook a brother up with the Grecian odes to urns about things.
Indeed.
Let us know if Northern Macedonia is actually just Turkey in disguise. Unlikely, but still funny in my head.
Ariel Zatoni's still on the tail of Travis Wall. So, again, a bit mixed on the pit stops here because a couple of people who went long, like Travis Wallace, it seems to have worked out in their favor. They've overtaken a number of people, but a couple of people who went in early have also had success. So, interesting. I mean, I guess the problem here with this many cars on track is that you're really just relying on getting out into a good spot of traffic. Either in the clear or easily able to obey blue flags / take advantage of blue flags.
You like blue flag?
Nobody likes blue flag.
That equals truth.
Christoph Verstappen on the trail of Moly Moly, who is the biggest loser out of the pit lane, because second place going in, down to 6th place now. So he's having hard times. Everybody has served their pit stop, so everybody, in theory, going to the end. Oh, Demetrius Simeonitis just conked out of the game. Knew that was coming. His internet gave out, unfortunately.
The Simonizer.
And this has given John Barker the lead. So John Barker had a win taken away from him on the last lap at the Red Bull Ring when his internet failed. He has now inherited the lead with 19 minutes to go because of an internet failure by Demetrius Simeonitis. So there is maybe a little bit of karmatic retribution for Barker.
Bow wow.
As Christoph Verstappen, once again, it's down to Conrad that he's got all the advantages in the world. And we went away from that. It looks like he has gotten the job done. In the meantime, Zatoni's still behind Travis Wallace. Battle for the last spot on the podium, heading through Murray's corner and then into Hell corner. And Moly got back past Verstappen. I don't know how that happened.
Gas pedal.
I hate to suggest it, but someone either made a mistake or he cut the chase to get back in front. That's the only thing I can think of.
Perhaps homeboy came around a corner and got a little too loose.
Could be.
As we move across into France.
Indeed. Looks like we've lost Jesse Hampton from the race, so we're down to 24 cars. That is 15 GT3s and just 9 GT4s. So if you're a GT4 driver and you're still running at this point, you were in for some big points.
I've just discovered that there's a town in France called Quimper.
Interesting.
Quimper. Quimper.
Jeez. Okay.
Not sure, I just caught my eye.
James Butler in the way of the battle for third place right now at a very inopportune time. We'll see if they can negotiate the blue flags here. Butler does leave some room. Oh, he kind of came in on Zatoni a little bit, though. Zatoni brushes up against the wall, and advantage, Travis Wallace. Meantime, Martin Edmonds has overtaken Wayne Hutchison. Wayne, come on, late in the race, when Martin's tires are begging for mercy, you can't lose a position now.
Put it on the wall, pull a brakey.
I guess actually he didn't pit that long ago, so his tires are probably fine.
Yeah, I would just have to assume that Martin doing the pit stop thing is whoa, there's a cloud on the, oh my god.
Big cloud of smoke there.
Somebody
in the wall.
Somebody popped smoke. They're calling for a helicopter extraction.
Or
Delta
an artillery strike.
Hey, that could be a thing. That would be neat. Can we do that in this game? Is that like Frontline, so I can call for an arty strike?
Nope. That's Mech Warrior as well. Call for an arty strike.
Yeah. We got minutes left. So you know how you and I played Frontline on World of Tanks, and it was a hellscape, and we did not enjoy it.
I enjoyed parts of it, but not in general.
Fair enough. Yeah. So I watched some excellent players play Frontline, and they had the same result. So it wasn't just us. They didn't. It's not just. It doesn't affect the random good players. It's everybody.
Well, I mean, it's like anything. You're making a team even bigger, so it means your actual contributions become less and less, and it's more about the team. And unfortunately, World of Tanks teams are not known for teamwork.
Oh no, totally. This one of the guys I watched, he had to spend 3 of his tanks to man mode up and actually get the win for his 30-man squad who just couldn't get their shit together.
Yeah.
There was one gun emplacement that was down to like a couple of hundred health, and no one would go up and shoot it, and he got killed 2-3 times trying to take it out. Any race fans out there have no idea what I'm talking about, unless of course you play World of Tanks. In which case, holla at your boy.
Indeed. Travis Wallace on the tail of Alvar Gomez Cuesta. So he's caught Gomez. He's going for it through the chase there. We cut to Verstappen versus Molly for some reason.
Tito Wallbanger.
No offense, gentlemen, but there's a side-by-side going on for second place that I'd be much happier watching right now.
Go to the side by each and you go around the corner, look. Travis Wallbanger up in this biatch. He's going to pass him on by and he's going to make up that 35 fucking second gap. That's not happening.
To be honest, I'm surprised it's only a 35-second gap.
Yeah, kind of a little bit. I'm not sure how many...
We've been going for an hour here.
Not sure how many herds of ponies Stoffmill's got for ballast, but...
Quite a few. At some point, the ballast will just be you in the front seat.
Oh, hurtful!
Are you not acknowledging the fact that you are very large, heavy?
I am large and heavy, yes. I'm not obese, let's put that out there. But I could definitely stand to lose 100 pounds.
I love pulling that on people. Is pulling out the clinical definition of obesity.
Oh,
I'm not obese. I was last year. Ha!
Actually, I don't know, because technically Joe Rogan's obese, and he's in fantastic shape.
If you're using the BMI thing, a lot of doctors don't have.
Oh yeah, yes.
The BMI is useless because that's bone density, muscle density, everything. It makes no sense.
He's at least a quarter Neanderthal anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, even look at me and my, to be honest, either brother. The same level of in-shapeness is going to produce way different BMIs.
Correct. One of them is going to be Konstantin Gluov in his prime on steroids.
Yes.
And the other one's going to be the tiny willow twig, but a lot of tendons.
Yeah. Well, it's even just like the bone structure. My brother's bone structure takes after my mom's side of the family, which is Irish, kind of thin bone.
Starvation.
Me and Zeke are Slavic bone structure, which is notably thicker, just on a genetic level.
Thick. Listen, ladies, if you like them thick, holla at your boys.
Holla at your boys. So yeah, so really the only actual the real obesity indicator would be a fat percentage test.
Oh, don't test me with that. I don't need that in my life.
I'm not saying you should. We're on the topic.
Sir, I don't need that kind of negativity right now.
In the meantime, it is the Audi of Alvar Gomez Cuesta. By the way, Audi in second place, guys. No one picking the Audi for the Wednesday GT3 series. What is wrong with you guys? If you didn't race tonight, you're racing in something other than Audi. Really, consider it. Seriously, consider it.
Well, sir, what they're doing is they're holding out. They're hoping that they're going to introduce the Toyota pickup trucks.
Oh, God. Oh, Wallace went wide there through Griffin's. It's opened the door for Ariel Zatoni. He's got it. I think he's getting
pretty much. Yep.
He's got it.
Yeah. Looks like it.
Nice overtake through the cutting by Ariel Zatoni. Third place could be on for second place here. These three are very, very close together.
I'm a little surprised Travis is not flashing the headlights right now.
Travis usually respects a good bold move, if we're being honest. So,
100%.
I'm not surprised.
And squirrel paste.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is business. And possum grommet.
Possum grommets and squirrel paste and Uncle Pappy's carbonated wood alcohol. I need to come up with another sponsor. I haven't done that in a long time.
So the battle between the two BMWs is letting the Audi get away just a little bit. But down the Conrad Straight, these BMWs have been murderous. As Alex Loeffler falls down another lap there. I'm pretty sure that's Alex Loeffler anyways. There are multiple cars of that livery. It's why I'm having a hard time. All right. Time is running down here. We're down to the last 11 minutes and change of this 75-minute race around Mount Panorama, Bathurst. Mike Stopbill is your leading car from Alvar Gomez Cuesta, Ariel Zatoni. Travis Wallace. This may change, though, as Zatoni's looking around the outside of Murray Corner. It's not really on. I don't think he would really get past there. What he wants is an inside line through Hell Corner. That's what he wants, because he can get that. He can head onto the mountain straight where the BMW's been an absolute beast and get some distance, but he can't get it through Hell. Now, his chance here is to just get past the Audi in the straight. Let's see if he can do that. Fifth place belongs to Ishmael Montoya, followed by Moly, who's had a terrible second half of the race. Christopher Streppen, Gerardo Daval, Mikel Costa, Max Simmons, Wayne Hutchison, Martin Edmonds, Fran Machuca, Josiah Jerome, and Sean Kenny, your 15 surviving GT3 cars. And I'll run down the GT4s in a bit here, but Travis looking to try to get back past at the cutting. This is where he lost third place. And Zatoni is looking for a way past as well against Gomez.
I have one last geography tidbit for you.
Hot fact.
There's a city in Africa with the most unlikely name that I'm about to spring on your ass.
Hit me.
St. Louis.
Sure it's not St. Louis?
Hey, could be French.
Probably. Yeah, a lot of French colonies there. So
but I'm going with St. Louis.
Which country is it in?
Senegal.
That's definitely St. Louis then. That's a French colony all the way.
But I'm going to go with St. Louis because ribs.
Also, Moly trying to come back through the field. He's on the tail of Ishmael Montoya. So his bid for a podium has been largely foiled, but he's going for the bid at least of top portion of the field against Ishmael Montoya.
Also, where do you get off calling yourself the Gambia? Aren't you just a Gambia?
Gambia.
Gambia 2, Electric Boogaloo. Now I'm genuinely confused. Like, is there another one? Is there another Gambia anywhere? No? No? Then what the fuck are you doing?
I don't know. I mean, all I know about Africa is can you get the gun of Rambo?
Which one? The M60? M60?
Part 1, 2, or 3.
Exactly.
The African warlord and his son are one of the best parts of that movie. And it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I remember really enjoying it. I just haven't watched it in like a long time.
I watched a couple of parts. It popped up on my YouTube recommended recently, and I watched a couple of parts of it.
Excellent.
Moly moly! Oh, that got tight. Montoya holds for now. Sean Kenny, I think, has hit the wall once again. Keep dragging it home, Sean. You got some points on offer.
Oh, hey, they named a whole country after noted Japanese pro wrestler Dick Togo. That's pretty cool. I mean, he was pretty gangster. Might as well name a whole country after
Very
him.
gangster. So the battle for second place has caught up to Michael Magas here under blue flags. We'll see if they can negotiate through him.
We should definitely get him on commentary. He seems like he knows what he's doing.
This is the Dipper, which is a bad place to catch up to him. They had a little contact. Zatoni is looking for it. Zatoni is hungry for that second place. This would be a huge result for the BMW driver. Magas gets out of the way. Travis Wallace looking for a way through on the Conrad as well. And are they going to go like 3 wide to the chase? Nah, not quite.
17 wide.
Wallace has got the edge on Zatoni and moves back into third place, but this is not over with 7 minutes to go. I said I was going to run down the surviving GT4s, and I will. John Barker leads from Shannon Flynn, Michael Magas, James Butler having a quiet day, but a 4th place kind of day. Sergio Mangual, Douglas DeGroat, Alex Loeffler, John Picha, Mauricio Delgado. At some point, we lost Christopher Streppen.
Oh, dang.
Did not see that. We've lost Verstappen from the race.
Must have been sent off to The Hague.
Could be. So that leaves 14 GT3s left and 9 GT4s. Although I am questioning Mauricio Delgado may also not be running, so we may be down to 8 GT4s. Ishmael Montoya has lost the spot to Moly Moly. They're coming up to John Picha in the Porsche there. I do appreciate that John runs that Porsche all the time, so I always know it's him. Ariel Zatoni all over the back of Travis Wallace, who is all over the back of Alvar Gomez Cuesta. You got to feel, despite the speed in the early part of the race, Gomez might be the slowest of them right now. Not sure if that's a tire thing, perhaps. I know he pitted later or earlier than Wallace, but I don't think he pitted much earlier than Zatoni or Wallace, so he shouldn't be tire struggling. But definitely can't seem to break away from these two BMWs, although Zatoni made a little bit of a mistake there and had to get the car back under control. And of course, we're entering the BMW paradise that is the Conrad Straight. So we'll see if that can resolve in the favor of the M6s.
All right, I have another geographic fact for you.
Yes.
There's a city in Nigeria that is slightly misnamed, I think. It is called Port Harcourt.
Oh, hang on a second. Wallace has got the inside move. He's forced Gomez off. Gomez has got the inside into her Murray corner, though he may still be able to hold it. Douglas DeGroat being there also helps him out. Travis Wallace. Big baller move.
Pretty gangster.
The ball family approves. Ariel Zatoni apparently has gotten around him as well. Where is Zatoni? I can't see him. Okay, he's held against Zatoni. Anyways, continue.
Yeah, so Port Harcourt is pretty fucking far up what I am assuming is not a fjord because it's in Africa. But you have to go pretty far up into, relatively speaking.
Gomez losing third place to Zatoni there as he gets a little wide in Griffiths.
Yeah, you have to go pretty far up into the mainland to get to Port Harcourt. So, I mean, yes.
Oh, Travis in the wall!
Why would you do that to me, Travis?
Travis spins out from second place and is in the wall. Zatoni and Gomez onto the podium.
He just got too angry too late in the race.
He did. He's lost a spot to Moly as well. And there goes Ishmael Montoya. That was an aggressive move by Montoya. That was brave. That was big ball right there. All the big balls today.
I have big balls. Hold them every night, etc., etc. Other lyrics.
So Wallace has gone from second place down to sixth place. I'm also think I can say for certain that Delgado is out of the race. He's losing laps to John Picha. So probably down to just 8 remaining GT4s. And the headlights are flashing from Travis Wallace. He is not happy. In the meantime, the draft down the Conrad here. It is Gomez versus the BMW, the beastly BMW of Ariel Zatoni. Zatoni gets ahead at the chase. Oh, contact.
Little edge.
But Zatoni hangs on and takes second place for the time being. He's got 2 laps to hold this now.
It's all right. You totally make up the entire 40-second gap.
No.
It'll be easy peasy.
To catch Mike Stockmill, you need one of the blue flag cars to just deploy the Caltrops.
The easiest of peasies.
Got apparently a little bit of a battle here. Sergio Mangual has caught up to the back of James Butler. This is for 4th place in the GT4 category. Mangual has been the star of the GT4 category, like pace-wise. He just hasn't necessarily had the results to back it up. No! Travis Wallace is spun again. I'm not sure if Costa got into the back of him. He had to make another mistake there because Costa wasn't anywhere near him, and Travis has pulled the plug. He's out.
The rage.
That to me is just foolish. You got 1 lap to go, maybe 2 laps to go. Just limp it. Limp it home, man.
You can do it.
Wayne Hutchison gets past Martin Edmonds for 9th place, although that was very brief. Edmonds back in front. Hutchison back in front. Can we get the camera on that? I mean, as much as I appreciate the fact that we just came to my overtake of Shannon Flynn too late to actually see anything.
Oh snap!
As I'm up into 2nd place, but I would like to see this battle between Edmonds and Hutchison, which is going on strong. I feel like it's not a spoiler to say that I made up a 25-second gap to Flynn, overtaking him. Flynn clearly has no front end. I've got this.
I would have to assume that you're not incorrect. Yes.
So Sergio Mangual on the tail of James Butler, looking to get that 4th place. Butler's had a really quiet day. Clearly has taken some front damage there. Car does not look entirely healthy, but he's kept it relatively clean, and he's on for a 4th place here if he can hold off Mangual. As Max Simmons and Gerardo Delval are battling for 6th place there in the Porsches. By the way, this has randomly become a very heavy Porsche, solid day. Now 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, all belonging to Porsches.
I was going to say, that guy's really busy if he's taking up all them spaces.
So they kind of went from being nowhere after Moly's bad pit stop to suddenly being in a pretty solid position brand-wise. And the top 4 represent 4 different brands once again. Mercedes leading BMW, Audi, Porsche.
Excellent.
There are no surviving Corvettes, unfortunately, so there's only 4 brands active in the GT3 roster right now.
Speaking of for the brand, your boy, Pat McAfee, has been...
I do have a quick update before you jump into that. Delgado is still running because he's overtaken Wallace and Verstappen since their retirement. So
very nice.
Not sure what happened, but he is still out there.
He's got the stick-to-itiveness. Your boy Pat McAfee has been apparently practicing and kicking in his backyard during the quarantine and, subtly and not so subtly hinting about making a comeback to the NFL. It may or may not be, angling towards a Buccaneers type spot.
Oh.
What do you give me as odds that actually happens?
I mean, it depends what Tom Brady thinks of the matter.
Hey, I think they could have some fun. You tell me that Gronk doesn't want to hang out with Pat McAfee on a daily basis? Come on, son.
I did like the unveil that Gronk was going to Tampa Bay with Tom Brady releasing on Facebook just the video of him walking, and then he nods the head over to Gronk. The camera goes over to Gronk.
Oh, I didn't see that. That sounds hilarious.
It's good. It's good. It's awesome. They're just no words, just walking, and with the song "Guess Who's Back" playing in the background.
Nice. I could definitely go for a viewing.
It's pretty well done. It's just a handheld video, but it did make me chuckle. Moly trying to get past Alvar Gomez Cuesta. He's caught Gomez. Gomez must have gone off at some point because he's 11 seconds behind Ariel Zatoni now. And they come across the line, and it will be Gomez getting that precious podium. Josiah Jerome, a man who has to feel like what could have been. I mean, second place, was running with Stockmill for a long time, and then made a mistake that dropped him back, and he still may have something here. He's on the tail of Edmonds now, so he may not be done. He owes John Picha a bouquet of flowers there because Picha held up Edmonds on the blue flag.
Well done.
Johnny the Peach plays a role in the battle for 10th place. He is the Ricardo Zonta to their Mika Hakkinen, Michael Schumacher, Belgium 2000. If you've not seen that race, the finish is fantastic.
I'd like to point out that Mike made up all those names. They're not real people.
They are real people. Even you know who Schumacher and Hakkinen are.
What? Maybe.
Even you. Mika Hakkinen and they both were on Top Gear.
That is true. And at one point, your boy pushed a bust made out of butter of Rubens Barrichello through a fan.
Mm-hmm. All right, final results. Mike Stockmill wins from Ariel Zatoni, Alvar Gomez, Moly, Ishmael Montoya, Gerardo Davel, Mikel Costa. I think that's Costa's best result. Max Simons, Wayne Hutchison, Josiah Jerome, Martin Edmonds, Fran Bachuca, and Sean Kenny, your 13 surviving GT3s. GT4, John Barker, your winner from Michael Magas, Shannon Flynn, James Butler, Sergio Mangual. So Butler held off Mangual. Douglas DeGroat in 6th, 7th for Alex Loeffler, the championship leader, 8th for John Picha, 9th for Mauricio Delgado, and everybody else out of the race.
I would like to congratulate Mike Magas on his second place. If I ever meet that guy, I will shake his hand.
It was his first ever second place in an ESR event, actually.
My goodness. He must be excited.
He had one win to his name in his career and 4 thirds. This was his first second place.
Well, forever a bride or a bridesmaid's maid, never a bridesmaid.
Well, now he's been a bridesmaid. All right, so that is it from Bathurst. I suppose I should hit us up with the next round.
No, hold on. We got like an hour practice coming up here.
No, we do not. We have the next round will be a doubleheader at Twin Ring Motegi, 2 semi long sprint races. So that'll be fun. A quick championship rundown in the GT3 category. Mike Stockmill leads away from Ariel Zatoni, Martin Edmonds, Alvar Gomez Cuesta, and Richard DeRoche. And in the GT4 category, it is Alex Loeffler leading from Sergio Mangual, Zifo Duran, James Butler, and Shannon Flynn.
Grande.
And should note that Cole McRae and Ayrton Tobin have officially been upgraded to full-time racers in this series. They had previously been reserve drivers who would replace people who could not make it. But they have proven their ability and willingness to show up. And some people have not. So they are in. So congratulations, gentlemen.
I myself am very reserved.
Indeed. That is all from me. Do you have anything to have as parting words here?
I make Botswana shake from here to Botswana.
Cannot confirm nor deny.